Hi there. Do you ever go to your local library? It's someplace that I've been going to a lot lately. It's just a great resource. I've been usually coming home with a huge stack of books whenever I go on all kinds of things, on health issues or even cookbooks or self-improvement books, novels or whatever I have an interest in. But our local library is really a wonderful resource here. But this time too, what I did was I picked up a couple of books by Beatrix Potter. So when I was a kid growing up, we had The Tale of Peter Rabbit at home, and I read it many, many times, and I remember it very fondly. But it wasn't until my own kids were in school when they were young that this book, and actually Beatrix Potter, had some significance for me because it brings back a very fond memory that I wanted to share with you. So when my youngest daughter, Noelle, was in 3rd grade, she had a teacher named Mrs. Whittle. And Mrs. Whittle was this beautiful woman from the inside out. Outwardly, she was a very pretty woman. She had beautiful blonde hair that was always styled very nicely, had nice makeup on every day, and would come in clothing just looking very beautiful, very stylish. And on the inside too, she was just a very warm and giving and generous and kind and very gentle woman. And she just had this way of calming the children down and just drawing out their luminosity. It was just, I would watch her do this and I would be mesmerized by it. So Mrs. Whittle loved Beatrix Potter. She was a big fan of Beatrix Potter, and she would read all the Beatrix Potter books to the students in class. And she even had a collection at home of Beatrix Potter memorabilia and keepsakes, things like that. And there was a day coming up where I think it was an international day honoring Beatrix Potter, and I don't remember exactly what the day was about. It wasn't her birthday because her birthday was in July, but it may have been an anniversary for a book or something. I don't remember exactly. But in honor of that day, Mrs. Whittle decided that she would bring in her Beatrix Potter collection for everyone to see. And she invited all the parents to come in as well to see her collection. So I decided to go in that day to see it. And I will never forget when I walked into that classroom, I just could not believe my eyes, because she had transformed this room into a Beatrix Potter showcase. It was beautiful. The entire room was filled with Beatrix Potter. I had no idea of the extent of her collection. She had a beautiful ceramic Peter Rabbit, and she had all the Beatrix Potter books, and she had all kinds of memorabilia, stuffed animals, and plaques, and clothing, and artwork. And honestly, I don't even remember everything that she had in there. I just remember the way it made me feel. It was just, when you walked into the room, the thing is, she had it displayed so beautifully that when you walked in, you could just kind of weave your way through the tables and the desks and the countertops and just feast your eyes on this beauty. And I remember thinking to myself, it must have, for her to pack up all of these items, to bring them into the classroom, to set them up so beautifully as she did, just must have taken so much effort and energy and planning and creativity as well. And I so admired that in her. I mean, she really did a beautiful job. And you could clearly see that she loved this collection, and she took a lot of pride in it because it was very well taken care of. All of the items were very beautiful. And I know oftentimes when people have hobbies of collecting things like this, they care very much for them. And what they'll do is they'll lock them up in a cabinet, or they'll put them high on a shelf or in a room where maybe people can see them, but they can't get so close to them. Because they want to keep them nice. But I believe it was actually because of her love and pride in this collection that she brought it in to share very openly and freely right on the tables and the desks for everyone, including the students. And to me, that was such a tremendous demonstration of generosity and kindness and trust in people. And it made such an impression on me. And I know she spread so much joy that day with this, through the students and the teachers and the parents that came in. You know, we may not always remember what people say or what people do, but we will always remember how people make us feel. And that day always brings back fond memories for me, even like almost 20 years later. And every time I pick up a Beatrix Potter book, or I even hear the name Beatrix Potter, I think about Mrs. Whittle, because she taught me the importance of having passion for something and having the courage to share it with others. So maybe you remember an event in your past or a person in your past that has made a very strong impression on you about the importance of living with passion. I mean, you can be that person. We can be those people, spreading joy and sharing our passions, whatever they may be. I mean, it may be your work. You may be a great scientist or a great hairdresser, or you may love art. You can maybe draw very well or paint, or you have a great voice and you're a wonderful singer, or you collect items. You collect something else that you're very proud of. But whatever it is, if you have enough passion in it, it is a gift that you should be sharing with the world, because it will bring happiness to many. So I don't live in the town where I was living at the time that I had met Mrs. Whittle, and I haven't been back to the school, and I have no idea where Mrs. Whittle is. But wherever she is, I just want to say thank you to her from the bottom of my heart for being such a wonderful person and such a beautiful teacher, and for having the courage to share her passion of Beatrix Potter with everybody. It's a day that I will always remember.